So thank you everyone and welcome to our monthly Ananse Tech community meeting for March. This tech community meeting is hosted and sponsored by CISA Tech and NTC Tech. As always, these meetings are recorded and posted to our YouTube channel. So if you wish not to be recorded, stay off, stay off, stay on mute, and off camera, or disengage the call and watch the recording. Again, it will be posted in our YouTube channel. Here is our agenda for tonight. So we've already passed the arrivals. We're into the greeting and agenda. We'll have the meet the team, talk a little bit about Ananse, the community, give the call for speakers, sponsors, and volunteers, and then we'll get into our speaker time where we have Emmanuel Saki, Edna, ooh, Pukua, and Dr. Foley, who will be our speakers tonight. And then we'll have networking time if time allows. And then we'll also close around the 8 o'clock hour. So proceeding on to meet the team, there are all of us as co-founders here, as well as some member as part of the two companies, NTC and CISA. My name is Nakia Carter, and I'm your host today. So this community is a community for young Microsoft professionals, but also for those who may be more in career or those who may be looking towards Microsoft as a technology to develop in, particularly being interested in Microsoft Office 365, things like SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, and Power Platform, as well as related technology. We also have talks on career and on tech career, so how you could be a better technical person, as well as being better at career, period. Our community links are this slide, but at the end, there'll also be QR codes for you to be able to use, and the hashtags are at the bottom of each slide, as well as our email address, hashtag Ananse Tech Community or hashtag Ananse Tech if you'd like to post about this community call. Speaking of the email, we have a new email. So it's anancetech@cisatechafrica.com. So we're switching to our other host for our email address. So Ananse Tech is no longer the one at Consult. It's anancetech@cisatechafrica.com. All right, so now on to the all call. So as always, we're always looking for speakers, sponsors, and volunteers. When it comes to speakers, you could be a veteran speaker, you could be a newbie. Especially if you're a newbie, this is a great place for you to be able to try out your speaking skills and share your technical expertise with folks. It's also a great resume builder, something that you can put on your resume. So we're looking for topics in the Microsoft arena, mainly around Microsoft Office 365, Power Platform, and any related technology, as well as any tech topics, tech career topics, such as how to build a portfolio, or career topics such as LinkedIn, how to build your LinkedIn portfolio, LinkedIn presence, or something like that. So we're looking for all types of speakers. If you would like to speak for us or with us, please scan the QR code, reach out by filling out that form, and we will reach back to you and schedule you for one of the months that you choose. Then for sponsors, we're looking for sponsors that will sponsor us for helping do certain things like advertising, things like that, help us to do conference when we want to do our in-person conference, as well as any mini conferences we have. And we're looking for sponsors, don't have to be money. It could be in-kind donations, such as like when we're in person, food or a room. It could be in-kind donations, such as you have a book that you want to give away in the tech, or you have swag that you like to give away. That also kind of stuff can also be arranged. Okay, volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. So we need volunteers to help us with coordinating the meetings, making sure everybody that signs up is aware that the meetings are happening, coordinating with the speakers, things that happen during the meeting, things that happen post the meeting, etc. we're always looking for good help and people that can help us. And this is another thing that you can put on your resume. And for those folks that consistently volunteer with us for at least 3 months, you will get a letter of recommendation from our tech community as well as our two companies. If you're interested in volunteering or sponsoring, please use the email, our new email, anancetech@sistatechafrica.com. And speaking of volunteers, a huge thanks to our newly signed volunteer, Francis, who will be starting next month, which is next week, as the speaker coordinator. And also a huge thanks to Harrison, who has been the speaker coordinator for quite a while. Okay, a few community announcements. Sharing is caring, so knowing about some of the technical things that are going on in the community. If you have any things that you'd like to share with us, any community conference calls, any conferences in person or online, and you think they will be relevant to our community, sharing is caring, so please let us know at anancetech@sistatechafrica.com. But here's some of the conferences. So there is the International Training Workshop for Research Design, Data Collection, Processing, and Analysis. And as you can see, this is a tech conference, so it doesn't have to be a Microsoft conference. This one is happening, the expected time is in April to May timeframe. You want to check that URL to make sure of the time frame that it's going to be in, and also if there's any costs associated. Then we also have a list of some tech conferences that we saw on this conference alerts for Ghana technology listing. So there's a list of some different conferences that are coming up. Some of them, actually, we're through all of them. So this slide, we're going to have to refresh it or something, because the last one is tomorrow. Okay. Now our new schedule, now we're still on monthly online as we're still trying to build up our attendance. But as soon as we get enough attendance, we'll start doing quarterly in-person mini conferences again. But right now we're still online every fourth Thursday of the month, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. local Ghana time, and the doors open at 5:30 p.m. local Ghana time. Okay, each one teach one. So this is a community. Again, sharing is caring, but teaching is also caring. So we're a community of teaching folks. So if you have other folks that are interested in the technology or interested in tech, maybe not interested in a specific field yet or a specific brand of technology yet, they can come join us and find out. Or if they are interested in a specific brand, being Microsoft, then they definitely can come and help learn, but also teach when someone's comfortable. So now we're going to have a short video as soon as the slide decides to. There we go. Now, the last time the video thing didn't work, so we have it on here 2 different ways. So if this doesn't work, we'll go switch to the to the URL.
My family's always been in construction. My father and
Can y'all hear? Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
grandfather owned a painting company, and my uncles were carpenters. So growing up, I got a lot of experience and eventually worked into a role here at McCown Gordon. The tools we use allow us to take that information, digest it, and then speak to all different types of clients. Our database management system allows us to show our clients where their money is being spent. And if it's not spent in the right right buckets, then it allows us to give them a roadmap to get the project back on track. Sorting and exporting into spreadsheets is critical to what we do. So Excel allows us to take that detailed information and transform it into graphs or pie charts to best explain it to an owner. When it's visual, they can see it and understand it quicker and understand the detail within it. Data plays into the trust relationship. If they don't trust the data that we're putting into this project, then they're not trusting where the budget's going, where the project's going. Data is vital. It's my entire job.
Okay, so that went better than last time, thank goodness. All right, moving on. All right, so we're moving on to our speaker time. So first we're going to start off with Emmanuel. He'll be doing an introduction to Stacks, which is the shop managing app. And then we'll have Edna, who will talk about the hidden tech skills in administrative roles. And then lastly, we'll have Dr. Rejoice Foley, who will talk about the future of work and how individuals can develop soft skills versus technical skills for the job market. Okay. So first up, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I believe you're here on the call. You ready to take over?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the slides.
All righty.
Mm, It says only meeting organizers can share the screen.
Okay, you should have access now.
Okay. Nice. So you should be able to see my screen now. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Imano Saki, and I'm here to talk about Stacks, and it's a shop management app. So the problem is, I think every shop owner at this point knows that if you want your shop to grow, if you want to take your business a bit more seriously, then keeping track of inventory and keeping stock is an important thing you have to do. You can't just freelance what is happening in your shop. So the natural thing that anyone would think of would be to use pen and paper to manually write or keep track of your inventory every single day, every single order that comes in. The alternative would be to purchase more expensive point of sale systems. So this has been a barrier for some people to partake in inventory tracking, and that is why we created Stacks. So Stacks is a simple shop management app. It is easy to access because you don't have to purchase anything. You just use your smartphone and you have access to all the features that Stacks has to offer. So let's take a look at some of the features. And the first one, obviously, is inventory management. So you get to add all your products. You can see how much is left. You can see what you have to restock and what you have in stock and all that. So what's good about it is that it prevents situations where you get customers, someone comes to your shop or to your store and they want to purchase an item. Maybe someone comes and just says, I want 100 pieces of this. And then you realize that you're actually out of stock. That'll be you losing sales right there. So it is good to know this information so that you can restock on time. And Stacks can help you do that. The next thing, which I think is quite interesting, is that you can create orders by scanning product barcode or even QR code. So just like how they do in some supermarkets when you see them scanning the stuff, you can do that with Stacks. And the good part is that every time you create an order, it automatically updates your inventory. So you don't have to, manually go in and be changing stuff whenever something happens, right? So I'm not going to talk much about this part. I'm just going to go here and we can watch this video. Yeah, so just like that, it was very fast, very quick. You don't have to manually enter everything. It's really seamless. So yes, aside from the physical tickets, you can also generate digital ones and share it to your customers whenever you need to. Then we also have analytics. So as you are using the app to track stuff, we can give you some analytics on sales and profit. We can tell you about your best sellers and give you other stuff like the amount of items per order, or even the amount that you get per order. And such information is very necessary because, for instance, if you know the average amount of items per order, and maybe you've tracked it and you're realizing it's around 1, 2 most of the time, it kind of suggests that you have to find a way of packaging your products so that people purchase more together. So these analytics are great and they're going to help you make better decisions for your shop. So that is the Stacks app. It is currently available on Play Store. We are working on an iOS version, which will be coming out very soon. So you can go and check it out. Thank you. So any questions?
Yeah, any question.
Looks like I was really fast with this one.
Yes, you were super fast. So what's the technology behind this?
Pardon?
The technology.
I'm having
How did you do
difficulty
this?
hearing. Pardon?
How did you do this? How did you make this app?
Okay, so you're asking about the technologies that I used?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So for the app itself, I used a framework called Flutter to build it. So with the Flutter framework, you'll be able to create the user interface and all that. But then for the the barcode scanning part, I had to employ some AI um, packages to be able to achieve that. Because generally, every phone has a QR code scanning capability in it, but the barcode is a bit reserved for factories and things like that. So phones can scan barcodes, but we're able to achieve that with some AI packages. So yeah, I'm using Flutter, I'm using some AI packages, and that's the tech stack. That's what I'm using to create the app.
So when it comes to like creating the orders, how do folks get um no, I'm sorry, the products? So I know you scan the barcode, but is it since you're using AI, is it going out and finding the price somewhere, or you have to put that stuff in the system?
Yeah, you would have to put the stuff in the system. So when you install it for the first time, there will be zero product. So you have to enter your product into the system first. And I think while you're entering the product, you'll be able to scan the barcode of the product as part of the product information, so that later on, when you are creating an order, you can use the scanning feature. So that's how it works.
All righty. Any other questions, folks? Okay. All right. Well, if anybody ends up having a question, please put it in the chat window and Emmanuel will address it. Thanks, Emmanuel.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
Maybe Teams is being a little slow, so getting my camera back up. All right. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and go to the next presentation, which unfortunately we found out just now that we are unable to, Edna is unable to join us. So we're going to go to our last speaker, which is Dr. Foley, and she will talk about, who I believe is on here, yes. She will talk about the future of work and how individuals can develop soft skills versus technical skills on the job market. Are you ready, Dr. Foley?
So I believe I've been given a chance to share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please, I hope everyone can see me. I'm happy to be here, and all thanks to the Ananse Tech community, especially the CEO and all the directors, being Madam Nakita Carter and Mr. Harry Carter. Thank you so much for this invite. So, as we already said, it's about the future of work and how soft and technical skills could be developed to meet the job market demands. Our outline will go with knowing how the future of work is, just an overview when it comes to tech, and also we're trying to see how we can develop our skills to meet this job market, and then how we can include networking and all that. So, future of work, as I'm just going to state, is changing rapidly. We all know technology has become the game changer now, and jobs are becoming more digital and flexible, which gives us which makes us to learn continuously and also provide incremental products. Now, these products that we may end up producing are for the job market, and these products include your skills, technical skills, your soft skills that make you competent. Because anytime we go out there, the question is, what are your competences? What are your skills? How ready are you for the market? So our job markets, the trends are really automated and artificial. That is why AI, when the first speaker was speaking, he told us about AI, how we use those tools to do the tasks. Remote and hybrid work models. COVID has made most of us to appreciate working from home, appreciate flexible hours and all that. When it comes to gig and freelance economy, working digitally, because of freelance economy, most of us are doing 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs because we have devices that help us to do that. And it helps us to make data-driven decisions. So, how do we appreciate what I'm talking about? And how do we know how to develop are technical and soft skills. Self-worth, knowing yourself. How do you get to know yourself? You get to know yourself using either personality assessment or doing a SWOT analysis, which is knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, getting to know the opportunities that come your way, and knowing how to manage and react to the challenges or the threats that you face. And these things help us or enable us to appreciate our purpose, self-respect, self-worth, being confident to pursue and actively engage the decisions that we want to make, which is our choice. Because the moment you make the decision is a choice that you have made, and you need to make sure that you sustain that positively. So, our technical skills help us to perform the job that you get, and it's explicit because you get this explicit knowledge from learning, from schooling, which is hard, is documented. However, the soft skills help you to work with people, your behavior, your attributes. You may be the first class earner from the university, but if you don't know how to relate with people, you can't survive in the workplace or at the workplace. So soft skills are very critical for you to blend with the technical skills. And when we are able to do that, it helps us to appreciate. So if it comes to, let me use Ananse Tech Community as a case study. If you want to be someone that's be a high performer within the Ananse community space or the digital space, you need to build your technical skills digitally. So you need to have certifications in digital literacy or other certificates that speak to maybe tech, computer networking, data analysis, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and then AI fundamentals. Because that is the capacity they need to build in that area, and you need to prove that you are ready for that job market. Now, how do you develop that? I mentioned it already that you need to have learning skills, which are either tacit or explicit. So if you don't have money to be going to the physical classroom, or you don't have the time to be going to the physical classroom, you need to appreciate how to use online models, online learning platforms, so that you can attain online certifications. Hands-on or practical projects, like the scenario, the case study that was just presented to us, the STARS project is a hands-on practical project. And I believe that during the process, you have learned things, you learn and unlearn because you're practicing. Internships and apprenticeships, it helps you to get those technical skills. Then staying updated. Those of us who are ready for the job market or are preparing for the job market, we don't just pick things from social media, people say that and laugh over it. But we try to put it into practice. So that is how you develop your technical skills. I would say one of the key studies again, I'm using this because I find myself in this space, so I need to market the product that I'm doing. I'm sitting on the Ananse platform. So one of the things is if you try to do internships with Ananse Tech Community, you learn a whole lot of things because it's a tech environment. Then when it comes to the critical soft skills, we look at critical thinking, problem solving skills, adaptability and resilience, emotional intelligence, creativity and innovation, communication and collaboration. Then when you are climbing the ladder, strategy and leadership is very key for us because you start as an operational person, you move on as a tactical person, and when you get to a strategy level, you need to explore and apply all the skills to make you a good leader and a good communicator. So I've just put some examples also how to develop the skills. Teamwork and group projects are important. Before you can work well or develop the skills, you don't keep yourself closed. You need to get out of your box. This picture that I have here, I took this picture when I was still a full-time worker at a bank and planning to become an ambassador. So I started networking with people within the peace community. So that is, and I volunteered and joined a project with the Kofi Annan community. That is why you see me here. And I was the group leader because I wanted to get the skills right. So I was ready to learn and unlearn. So I volunteered to be the leader. And all those people you see there are the top officials in that community. But I was ready to learn. Regular feedback. I was talking to them, asking them, what are we doing? Are we doing it right? At the end of the day, public speaking, I had to go and present the report from the project. And I had a platform to present this report at the UN. So that is how you develop your skills, do projects, and then lead roles, volunteer. When Nakita was speaking, she mentioned volunteering. You need to volunteer to do things that you are not comfortable with. What can we do as individuals? I'm saying us and we because I'm still in this position, learning, unlearning, trying to learn more skills. And as we speak, I could tell you that I'm also learning from Nakita and you say, Harikata, because there are things that I don't know. That is why I'm using the term us and we. So what can we do as individual? We need to create personal learning plans. Everyone you need to have your personal learning plans because when you did your SWOT analysis, you were able to identify your strengths, you were able to identify your weaknesses, you were able to identify opportunities based on your capacity and capabilities. Therefore, you need to have a plan. How do I improve this? Who do I take feedback from? What times do I meet these objectives? Because they need to be smart. You need to stay adaptable and open and then build strong professional networks. So developing this, you see, I'm trying to train some people because I was enhancing my training skills. And these people are also getting impacted because I'm also sharing what I have taken from wherever I learned it from. You need to practice, like we said already. We take ownership and create personal learning platforms, like I mentioned. When it comes to taking ownership and then preparing for your career, I mentioned it already. Because of where I was going, I need to take certain intentional decisions. You see me sitting there. I was at a training school at Hachiasi. And that is me sitting there. When you see me, I'm so cute, but I have to hold that thing. And you can imagine how uncomfortable it was. My supervisor was not blinking his eyes at all. You need to be adaptable and open to change. A banker that is in suit and sitting in the sand, ready to click on the trigger. Okay. Also, you need to be ready for the market, take ownership, and develop strong professional networks. As you see again, I'm the only lady amongst about 50 ambassadors that were supposed to do a project across Africa. And just were few of us at one of the meetings. You need to take decisions out of your comfort zone. Then, when it comes to personal resilience, hope, and then growth through adversity, the question is, are we always okay? Is it always comfortable when you are developing the skills and you need to demonstrate them? The answer is the road has never been easy. It's not easy, but you need to be intentional. You need to navigate complex challenges. And how do you do that? You need people who will support you. Together, we can make it work. So you see, you need to approach a lot of people who have been there. Those who will not judge you for your weakness. And that is where mentors, coaches, and sponsors come in. Okay. Then, when you learn, you need to share. Like I said, you need to give back because those skills, technical skills, soft skills that you have learned or we have learned, if you keep them to yourself, people will not know what you are capable of. The results speak. That's why the Bible says, the good book says that your gifts will make room for you. The only way we will appreciate your gift It's when you demonstrate it and you support others. Let others give you or others market you. You don't just advertise yourself. If you advertise yourself, you can still be in the glass in the shop. No one will come close. But until people taste who you are, it is then that they can market you. And if you make yourself marketable or we make ourselves marketable, it helps our soft skills to be appreciated by others. It gives us long life learning capabilities and it makes room for us to be employed. Let's start preparing for the future today. And for us to get this internship models, number one, the first on the list is to sign on the Ananse community and other programs that are done in this community. You can also sign on to youth opportunities for the World Bank, for ILC, for UN agencies, and Africa. Also, you can network and connect with people who are already there. For example, I am starting an organization called the Femtech Africa Foundation, which is to mentor, coach, and sponsor youth who are ready to take this path. I am on LinkedIn as Dr. Rejoice Foley, also as Femtech African Foundation. And finally, don't forget the call to action. You need to be part and volunteer for the Ananse community events. The one thing that you have that nobody else has is you, your voice, your mind, your story, and your vision. This is from Neil Coleman, and that ends my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Nakita. Thank you, the host and Zoom master.
Thank you, Dr. Foley. So are there any questions? Okay, so I'll ask a question. So you went into being multifaceted when it comes to being part of the job market. A lot of people are going for those technical hard skills, but they're forgetting that there's all these other things, especially if you want to be on the global market for jobs. There's these other skills that you need. I believe you mentioned a couple of them, but did you have any others that you think also are very important for folks to get when they're in the technical space? Oh, you're on mute, Dr. Foley.
Within the technical space, the first thing is if you get to know yourself, where your strengths are, that even encourages you to know the path to take, the career path you want to take, the kind of schools that you even select, and the courses that you like to do. So, for example, when we were young, all we knew was our parents wanted us to be good in class. Maybe they want you to be first, between first and fifth, and you just study. But when you start getting to the college stage, you realize that you are strong in English or you are strong in math, and you start liking the subject. Sometimes it's the teachers or our facilitators that help us to like whatever course we do. Others also make us to hate the course. However, when you appreciate your personality and know who you really are, you realize that there are other skills that you have that also, if you had realized it earlier, you would have developed them while in school, but because you didn't get the opportunity. So that's the first stage. The things that you like doing. So if you know, when you see nurses, they look so cute and nice, so you were so good in science, therefore you selected science. Fortunately, you were able to go to the medical school and now you are a doctor. Someone didn't appreciate nurses, but the parents insisted that he should do medicine. So he has to go and do medicine and become a doctor. You might be in the consulting room, but all you do every day is to sing. So in such a situation, you end up singing, trying to write songs, and that is another career that you are developing. So that is when you will now say, okay, I'm good in this, so I want to get some certifications in this. I want to improve myself. You are not stopping the work, a medical doctor or whatever, but there is something else at the side that you are doing. So when it comes to building your technical skills, it takes this roots. It's a process for you to know how to build it. Now, the third one is because of the job you are doing, there is a need to upgrade yourself. So, for example, I work in the bank, and as a project manager, we need to upgrade ourselves with PMP, which is the PMI standard certification. So for you to go up and become a senior project manager or as a project director like I am today, I was requested or I was required to do the certification, which is the PMP. It's a technical skill. So the situation and the environment that I found myself in made it necessary. It was a mandatory requirement. So sometimes mandatory requirements also make you to develop these technical skills. So that is with the technical skills. But the soft skills, it's non-negotiable. The soft skills are non-negotiable. Please, I just want to know if I've answered the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's definitely non-negotiable unless you want to be pigeonholed into one role, low level, for the rest of your life. Because you will become that help desk person on the help desk forever if you don't have
Yes,
other skills or some
yes,
other lower level tech job. And it'll be
yes,
very hard for you to move up without
yes,
those other skills.
yes.
So thank you so much, Dr.
That
Foley.
is why
Any
in
other
the tech
questions, folks? Oh,
environment, that is
mhm,
why in the tech environment, agile is very critical because
mhm.
agile appreciates individual interactions over strict documentation. And agile appreciates servant leadership because without the people, you can't get the right productivity and results. So that is why I said soft skills are not negotiable. You can't work and get the results alone. You need to move along with people. The same way as a leader, the only way you can get your results and be happy and grow the business and grow personally as well is the way you relate to people, interact with people, the way you communicate is very critical. Thank you.
Amen to that. Any other questions, folks? All right. So if anyone has any other questions, please be sure to put them in the chat. I believe Dr. Foley will be hanging out with us for the rest of the call.
Yes.
So you can put them in the chat and she will answer them there. Thank you so much, Dr. Foley.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
too, for the opportunity.
Same. We look forward to having you again.
I'm the
So,
faithful volunteer on destinations. I'm a, I'm a mandatory volunteer for Ananse community.
okay. Yes. All righty. So next up, since we ended up uh, without Edna, Harry has decided that he's going to jump in and do a presentation on Microsoft Viva. So go ahead and take it away. And I will leave it
All
there.
right. Thank you for that, Nikia. And thank you for all the other guest speakers that has been here. Very inspiring, very thoughtful. Um, okay, so today I want to talk about well-being and personal insight. So there used to be a time where many of us, when we prepare for the day, we would get up in the morning, brush our teeth, wash our face, take a shower, get dressed, get our cup of coffee, maybe have breakfast, leave out the house, travel through traffic, go to work, do your 8 hours, and during that 8 hours, you have maybe your first 15 minutes break after being there about 2 hours. And then you'll get a lunch break, and then you most likely work through till you get off. But then you have the traffic back home, and then you transfer into your home life and deal with your home life. Work is still at work. Well, today's modern work doesn't quite work that way, and anyone that works remotely knows it don't quite work that way. You get up in the morning, brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower, whatever. You get your coffee. First thing you do is check your emails. Some people check their emails as soon as they wake up, look at the phone while they brushing your teeth, checking your emails. Before you know it, you down in front of the computer. You've been checking that one email, turn to 15 emails. You start looking at your plan for the day. Before you know it, it's 12 o'clock. You haven't eaten breakfast, nothing. Only thing you had for the day was a cup of coffee. So now you decide you're hungry. So you get up, grab something real quick. Whole time you still thinking about work because you're not at work. Your work is right there at home. And normally those who work from home that are very productive at home are good at working and motivating themselves to work. So now while you're making whatever sandwich or lunch you have, you make that, you're right back at the computer. You're eating your lunch at the computer, doing your work. Before you know it, something else that came up, you to start working on some type of solution. You got to roll on it before you know it's 9 o'clock at night. Your whole day is gone and you've worked all day from now the time up to the time you went to sleep. So what we're going to talk about today is a way to focus on your own personal insight and your own personal well-being, because there's no need of doing all this work if you're going to miss life. If you miss life, then there is no, what is the work, the need for all this work? So share my screen. All right, so what I have on my screen is my Microsoft Teams. Inside Microsoft Teams, even on the most basic package, you have a free version of what you call Viva Insight. Now, if you look over here on the screen, you see Viva Insight here on my sidebar. But if it's not there on your sidebar, you can either come down here to your three dots, type in Viva, and you see Viva Insight. Or you can go to Apps and type in Viva, and you have a bunch of different Viva coming up, but we have Viva Insight here. But since I have it right here on my sidebar, I'm just going to click on it for now. So Viva Insight is a very powerful tool, and it can help you throughout the day to manage your time to where as though you would have a well-balanced work-life relationship. So if you look at this first part of the platform here, this is what you call the overview page. So on this overview page, I have an option of where as though I like to send praises to my colleagues when we work together. They do good work, things of that nature. I'm able to do that. If I wanted to schedule a day where as though I know all week long I've been having meetings, matter of fact, I've been having meetings for the last 2 weeks, I have a solution I have to complete. So I want to blank out all the meetings that day except for my appointments. I can schedule it that way, whereas though I can have all my time for myself today to focus on my work and will not be disturbed. That way you won't have all the running back and forth, whereas though you're working, email or meeting, someone calling you, things of that nature. disturbing your work for the day. That way you can get it done. You can stay up to par, because once you fall behind, then management of time becomes a lot harder. But if you stay ahead, stay focused, and you're able to have focused on that time and get your work done. You also have a shared focus time. So if I wanted to say, okay, I wanted to have a meeting with, Sigu, Charles, Imani, and I want to be able to have time where as though we're not disturbed and we can work on the solution that we've been working on for weeks all together, undisturbed, I could set that time up. And would share that time, send us reminders, set that time and day we needed to be, and we're able to work and do a silence focused time with no one can disturb you. That gives you a chance as a team to be able to work on projects, get it done ahead of time, or get it done where as though you don't fall behind. Because like I said, once you fall behind, managing your time becomes a lot harder, because now you're playing catch up. So once you start playing catch up, then that falls into the time you should be spending with your family, relaxing. Time you should be clearing your mind, because if your mind is so jumbled, you can't go back the next day and focus correctly, because so much is going on in your head. You lose sleep, all types of other things happen. You can even disconnect with quiet time. So if you see right here, it says 13 out of 28 days have been interrupted by emails, chat, and meetings after work. Now, this is my history. So 13 times someone has reached out to me after work hours. Now, that's suspected of me because I know that's going to happen, so I don't have it blocked. But this ain't too bad. It ain't 28 out of 28, so it ain't too bad. You can set up a virtual commute. Now, like I said earlier, remember when I was saying that once you leave out the house to go to work, you have that time period in between you leaving your home and you go to work. When you leave your home and you go to work, your mind is getting ready for what is going to happen for that day. Whether you want to or not, your mind is preparing for what is going to happen that day. It's the same thing when you leave work. When you leave, no whether if you have to wait on the bus or you driving and you're going to be in traffic, whatever, that time period, transfer your mind from work to what is about to happen at home. What am I going to eat? What are the kids doing? What my wife doing? Who broke something? All that transfer over. How's they doing in school? All those things transfer over in your mind as you drive it home. This gives you the opportunity to do that if you are working from home. It gives you a chance to wind down and bring your mind off of work to being at home. So let's click on it real quick. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it allows you to run through your day. I wonder if I can do it that way. Let me go back. Okay, I might have to go in the other way. No, what the hell? Okay, I gotta go on the other side. I'll show you once we get on the other side how to set up a reminder or what time. It tells you what time. Okay, you have 30 minutes before you get off. Check your emails. Check, see what you're going to do tomorrow. So now it's setting your mind up. These things are going to happen tomorrow. So these are the meetings that's going to happen tomorrow. This is going to happen tomorrow. So your mind is set on that. So now you're unwinding from the today. And then there's a point in time where say you are off of work. Period. Your time is blocked, whereas though you don't get any emails or you don't get any calls, things of that nature. To make time for messages by automatically schedule time to catch up on your emails. So if you're anything like me, I get piles of emails while I'm working. I don't look at them unless it's something that I see that come across the bottom screen, like emergency house on fire. So what I tend to do, my time for reading emails tend to be early in the morning. I read all the emails from the day before and catch up on all whereas no one can disturb me. I'm focused on just that. So by automatic scheduling this time, I can catch up on that, and everything else is blocked out. Time to take a break or two. So like I said before, a lot of times while we're working at home, we don't take lunch breaks. But it's important to take a lunch break. It's important to stop and take your mind off of work for 30 minutes to an hour and then go back to work. It refreshes you, gets you going. It gives you a new perspective, especially if you're stuck on something. If you're at a crossroad and you stuck and you don't, it seems like everything you try and ain't working, take a break. Take a walk around the block. Get your blood pumping. And then come back to it. Schedule those breaks in. Now, if you take it, that's up to you, but at least it's scheduled in. You can schedule your emails for later. Focus time, I'll get more into that later. And even down here, you have a library that's connected to, I believe, Viva Learning that allows you to be able to look at different things to be able to help you with your growth. As you see, I got things down here, expectations, making hybrid work. Want to improve your performance, starting with your mindset. I have these are different things down here that help you with yourself. So let's go into well-being. So like I said before, send praises. Set up time with no meetings, so I can focus on work. Team focus. Schedule meetings for later. Focus times. There's even a thing where, though, if I wanted to focus and have music, like meditation music in the background so I could just, relax, drink some tea, kick my feet up for 30 minutes. I have that time, well, an hour here, because I have an hour schedule. To be able to take my mind off work so I can regroup. You have productivity. Promoting healthy meeting norms. This is a little extra, so I ain't even gonna go into that right now. But pretty much this is creating meeting plan for your team. And for that team, we can start a durational meeting to make everybody have a time to just relax. Teamwork. At a glance, I can look on here and see, okay, what one-on-one meetings do I have? So I have a glance on what one-on-one meetings I have with people. I have at a glance, how many hours have I spent within working hours? So I believe this is a accumulation of all the team, because I'm in the admin area, since I have admin rights to this. This is a collaborative of everybody, accumulation of everybody during this week. 17 hours outside of work hours, so I have 17 hours worth of work being done outside of work hours during the week. We need to get that down. How much available focus time? These are the times that are available that's not being taken. So we need to get some focus time done. Look at my network. So this is another cool thing. So I could look on here and see who I've spent time with and what meetings, how many hours. For instance, if I click on Nikki, I've spent over totally 48 hours and 29 minutes in meetings and collaboration with Nikia over the past 4 weeks. Same thing, Nadia, 2 hours and 22 minutes. Sigu, 40 hours. So we spend a lot of times, and as you see, I spend a lot of time because this is the executive team, so we spend a lot of time talking. I have a breakdown. How many emails this shows during the meetings. How many emails were read or looked at or what's named during meetings. So as an admin, if I had took that piece, I could actually come in and look at the whole team and see which ones has been done or who's working on what during meetings. So let's look at this real quick. So I have these pent here. So if I want my favorites on here to find out who I'm collaborating with the most, I could pin them there. Let me see. Okay, let's go back. All right. So that is the platform. But to give you a little understanding, play with it. If you, especially the ones who have teams, play with it. Set up your focus time. Put in your breaks. Because if you are worn out and tired, you're not going to do your best work. And like I said before, you want to build that work-life relationship, because what is the purpose of work if you can't enjoy life? You don't want to get into the habit where as though you get up in the morning, you're already on your phone checking work. Before you go into bed at night, you're on your phone checking work. Before you get in the shower, you're on your phone checking work. And then, you know, dinner time, you eating dinner at work. So understanding to be able to use this platform to be able to change, set times for you to force yourself to just stop and say, hold on, that's enough for right now. Now, I understand when things are on fire, you got to keep pushing through. I understand that. But also understand what is the difference between something actually being on fire or something being on fire. Because if you're like me, then every problem is a fire. Is whether one is bigger than the other. So determine whether that fire can be done in the next 3 to 4 hours or it need to be done right now. Because if I do it right now, I think it might be done in 5 minutes. Anybody that ever sit down at a computer and say, oh, I can get this done real quick in 5 minutes, you know it ain't gonna happen in 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure everyone has done that and sat down and said, yeah, I can get this done real quick. Before you know it, you have been there for 2 hours. People coming back, looking in the room. I thought you said you was going. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. You don't be almost done. So, with that said, if you have teams, pull up the Viva Insight, set it up, play around with it, set your plans up, your commute time to get off, and it will help you a whole lot. So, with that, any questions?
Okay, I guess I'll ask a question. When you were talking about like it playing music and stuff, I can't remember if you did it, but it still has a meditation there, right? They have
Yes,
like meditation. Um,
yes, it's under the focus time. Whereas I can show you real quick. Well-being. So things have been moved around for a while. So if you go scroll to the bottom, you have your focus, jazz, hold on, give me a second. Things has been moved a little bit.
that looked like that was it.
Yeah, I think I
Even
got
I
it
don't know
set
why they
up.
put it under there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
But
used to be very out front.
yeah, yeah, they just changed this. this front face a little while ago. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know I've had to use this, especially when I was working at Microsoft,
mm,
because they will work you to death if you don't, if you let them. They will,
yeah.
they will work you to death. So luckily they would ask us to actually use the tool too. And I used to use the meditation at the end of my work, my work period. I would use the meditation
Mm,
to try to from decompress from all the stuff going on, especially if it was a super stressful day. But I found that helpful, like you said, because you don't get the car commute to decompress
hmm
when you're working remotely, which is what I used to have.
Which is one thing I forgot to talk about is reflection. So Nikki was just talking about, how you feel at the end of the day, reflecting on how your day went. So many of us don't reflect and look at ourselves and grade our day. So like I can look back the day and say I had a good day or today was a bad day. Acknowledging or the day was so-so, you know. Acknowledging it give you a perspective on self. Today was a bad day. Okay, yeah, the day was a bad day, but tomorrow won't be. But it give you a chance to reflect on that so you can move forward. So like today for me was a pretty good day. So I just hit the day was a good day. That's the song. Today was a good day. So you do that and over time you start saying a history of how your day has been. I haven't done this one in a while, but how of your time has been over the last, month, 2, 3 months. And if you'll notice that you having more good days, you also go see the difference in the reflection of your work and the reflection of what's been going on in your life because even when you have bad days you don't have as many because you have a chance to reflect on it and figure out why. When you reflect you automatically want to know why was my day bad, because this happened, that happened, this day. Well, how can I make this better for tomorrow? Well, I'm gonna get this done tomorrow. I'm gonna get this. I ain't gonna have to worry about this done because I solved this problem today. It ain't gonna be tomorrow. So, it's the same thing. And over time, you start seeing more and more good days or mid days or black days, but less bad days. But then you actually can clock it. So if you got a lot of bad days, then I think you're in the wrong spot. You need to be in a better spot or looking at something different. But, you get to judge that and actually give a chance to actually look at it. Especially if you type that, you going through a week or 2 weeks of bad stuff in a row and you get to the point like something always happening. Why is this always happening? But then you look back and you realize it doesn't really always happen. You're just in the middle of it right now. You know, Last month, the month before that, the month before that was all good. I'm just going through a bad month. I just got to get through this one. So that allows you to do that and reflect as another part of, helping you balance your life, work, relationship.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, it's, it's definitely something that's needed. Um, there is a question in the window about employees' privacy and the ability to, or the hopefully avoiding micromanagement of managers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and before, they used to not have the individual people. It used to be
Well,
aggregated sites. Yeah.
okay, so reflecting history, there are certain areas as an admin I see that I need to see from an admin point of view if I want to be a good employer. Okay. There are things that we cannot see. We cannot see your reflection history. We cannot see your all the personal things that you do for your focus and all that. What we can see though is this. We could see that you're working too many hours over your normal hours. So as an employee, I should be concerned about that because you're working way too many hours, right? What we can see is how many meetings that you're having during the week. And if you're having so many meetings that you're missing your work, then we need to do something about why you're having so many meetings, right? Or is the workload too heavy? This also allow us to be able to see how we can help you better have a better work-life relationship. So personal things like how I feel, you know, sending praises, um, my meditation times, focus times. Everybody is going to see that. Anybody that have access to want to put something on your calendar, they're going to see that you have focus time. But there are certain things that we want to be able to see as employees because we tend to not know that we are overworking you until you come to us. And by the time you come to us and say you're overworking me, we don't already overworked you to a good point. So there are some things we'd already by the time you come to me and say, hey, you did me way too much work, we know we'd already been overworked you way too long. So we can actually see that you are working on Saturdays, which is a no-no. Then I should be able to see that and say, yo, look, keep your work, your Saturdays are for your family. Or I see you working to 9, 10 o'clock at night, early in the morning, because you're on teams, you're having these meetings at that time. Now, as far as my team is concerned, I see that I know the reason why we have work or meetings late, because a lot of times my team works on US contracts and they're on a different time zone. But if I see that you have meetings from 6 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening, that's too much. Back to back, that's too much. And I need to be doing something as a manager or an employer to make sure you're not overworked that way. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. Well, I can add a little bit more to that because that took me aback a little bit because of what we normally would see. So I
Hmm.
wanted to double check, and I checked with Copilot. Managers don't see individual employee insights. Employees only see their own personal insights. The reason why you're
Hmm.
seeing everything right now is because as an admin or an analyst, you can access and you would see individual data restrict in a restricted way, but mostly for analytics, not for
Hmm.
performance management. So managers don't see it unless that manager, like Harry right now, he's a manager, but he also sees it because he's an admin. Usually in companies bigger than mid-sized companies and up, and even some of the larger small companies, the admin, the IT admin person is usually not the same as the manager.
Hmm.
So, but that's why we were seeing those extra details on your
Right.
screen.
So, right, because I have the admin, I'm the admin of this. I'm able to see what the team is doing because of what I need to be able to do as what I do for a living. So, and I
Yeah.
ain't trying to kill my team. I need my team.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So any other questions? All right. Thank you for putting up with me for a few minutes. Sorry it was a little shoddy. I had to jump in that, but other than that, y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Now that was a good presentation, especially last minute like that, not being prepared, just jumping in, realizing that we didn't have our speaker and figuring that out real quick. So very much kudos and applause and all of that, that goes to her for that last minute save. So He just got finished talking about Microsoft Viva Insights and how you can help it, balance your work and your home life, get those balanced again. All right. So now it's network time, where we usually talk a little bit of time and see who wants to participate in this time. This is optional time. You can just listen in. You don't have to participate. But if you would like to participate, this is what you do. You introduce yourself, you give your name, location, your technical field, the school or company that you're at, or if you're in between jobs or if you're working for yourself, and your purpose for joining this community call. And then also, how do you think that the tech and or the topics, because sometimes it's not going to be a tech topic, it might be a career topic, could could be applied, especially in the Ghanaian slash African context. So I'm going to start off. My name is Nikia Carter. I am in Tema, Ghana right now. My tech field is well, right now I'm technical leadership. I used to be a developer and a trainer and all of that. Still do some of that sometimes. Company is NTC Tech, where I am co-CEO, as well as Sister Tech, where I am CTO. And then my purpose for joining is, of course, being the host and sponsor and everything for these calls. So, what do I think? How do I think the tech and the topics presented today can be applied? So, first of all, from Emmanuel's presentation, I can see that being for the small shop owners in Ghana. Not sure what the price point is, but it looked like a pretty nice little tool that's easy to put things in and manage as an individual. So I think that tool sets, the software plus the device, could be a game changer for a lot of small shop owners. From the lady that's just selling tomatoes or different vegetables to folks that may be selling something a bit more complex. I could see a lot of different applications potentially for that. When it came to Dr. Foley's talk about um, soft skills and technical skills, that's definitely something needed in this market of tech right now. Now, right now, there's movements where folks are moving in between Ghana and the States or Ghana and some other country. Um, but if you're trying to get a work as a developer and you're a new developer, if you develop those soft skills along with your technical skills, you will outpace your peers really fast. That's number one. Number two, if you're trying to get a global job, a job outside of Ghana, whether you're working remotely or if you have to go there, you need to have those skills, especially if you're going to go work somewhere in the Western world, because you have to have them. If you don't have those skills, you won't even get hired. So you have to even be able to demonstrate that you have certain soft skills, the ability to communicate, the ability to ask questions, curiosity, organizational skills, showing up on time. You show up to your interview late, it's not going to look good. So certain things, certain skills, even though that's not like a skill, but it's still something that you need to learn and you need to be on top of in order for you to be successful. And then when it comes to Harry's presentation, um, remote work is awesome, but remote work can also get you in big trouble, and burn you out real fast if you're not paying attention to your health, and your work-life balance. Even us as co-CEOs of two different companies, or different companies and CTO of a company and all this other stuff, multiple companies, we have two different communities that we run. And Harry and I and Sigel still take time, and Imani, actually, still take time when we can, especially, we will devote time to making sure that we recover. Because if we don't recover, we're going to go downhill. We go downhill, everything's going downhill. So it's always important to make sure that you're keeping that balance, even if you're a leader in your organization. All right. So anybody want to go next? And you don't have to talk about all the topics like I did. You can just talk about one if you like. Harry, I believe you got your hand up.
I believe Galanda was waving first, so I'll let Galanda go.
Oh, sorry, Galanda. I didn't see you.
No worries.
Didn't see
no
that.
worries. No worries. Good evening, everyone. I did the analog version of Wave, and Carrie did the virtual version. Good evening, everyone. My name is Galanda Brooker. I am in Cape Coast, Ghana. I am an all-around tech person, we'll say, but I guess I'll represent myself as a technical project manager today, although I have also done database work, implementation work, SharePoint work, all kinds of those different sorts of things. My purpose for joining is, although when I left the US, I said I wasn't going to do no more tech stuff, somehow I seem to can't get away from it. And it still keeps coming to grab me and say, hey, check out what's going on and what's happening. Plus, being here in Ghana, they are working towards making lots of strides for more technical competence and efficiency, which I feel like I have a lot of experience in. So that was my reason for joining today. Plus, the topics were really interesting to me. I want to talk a little bit about the soft skills, because that's one of the areas that are also very important to me as a project manager, communication. And outside of that, what I do wellness related work as well. Emotional awareness and management is a big part of being able to communicate effectively with your soft skills. So I thought that was a really good presentation. And then when Harry was showing all the different things with the Viva Insights, I said, hey, this is just right on time today. Because even earlier today, I was watching, as a project manager, a webinar about project success through burnout prevention. So all of these things tied in very well together. I think oftentimes when we see topics about technology, we think strictly that it has to be something virtual or technical. But as you mentioned, Nikki, the person who has good soft skills, communication skills, and are confident in those skills will absolutely go further than the person who just has a lot of great technical skills, right? For those who, may be on the call, almost all of the jobs that I had the last 15 years in the US were from people I know in relationships. It wasn't because I applied for the job. Not to say that you can't get jobs when you apply for them, you absolutely can. But when you know people, have relationships with people, and be in community with people, the opportunities that you want seem to find you that way. And I think that the soft skills, being mentally in a good place, all of these things contribute to it. So that's my input for today. Great presentations all around.
All right. Thank you for that, Galanda. All right, for everyone that doesn't know me, I am Harry Carter. I am located in Tema, tech field. Eh, I had a tech field at one point in time. I moved away and went more towards management and sales, and even the people I trained in the tech field has soared past me so fast, got me spinning. So, so I have some tech skills, but I'm enough to be a little dangerous, but I ain't a ninja like everybody else. Um, I am the CEO, co-CEO of Sissa Tech and co-CEO of NTC Tech. And the purpose of Join is to be able to share knowledge and understanding and just be a part of the community. What I think about the topics today, one, Emmanuel Saki, it was funny he was showing that today because we went to an event today, and one of the things they were talking about was inventory management in textiles. So things are moving in that direction where apps like that are going to be necessary. So I appreciate him showing what he can do in that, and I will be really excited to see where he take it, because it's the need for it is everywhere. Everyone is modernizing. Everybody's watching the individual dollar. How much is one tomato versus, the weight of how much am I getting out of production? Everyone is looking at that. And as far as the soft skills, it couldn't be more important. Soft skills show that you have respect for your partner. It show you have respect for the job. It show you have respect for everyone else that is involved in the entire process of the job. For instance, I have a saying within our organization: when you're early, you're on time, and when you're on time, you're late. And the reason is that other people's times are valuable. They have things to do. You're being held responsible to your team and to your employer and to your clients. So when you have those soft skills, then it works out a lot better for you, and it shows that you have some respect for what you do. You're a professional. That's the difference between a regular tech worker and a professional. So that was very powerful, and I really appreciate her coming in and speaking about that today. I really enjoyed it. And of course, Viva Insight, use the tool. Play with it, use it. If you have it, why you paying for it? Why we paying for it if we ain't gonna use it? We're telling you use it so that you can have more time to spend with your family. That is a win-win-win situation. So use it, and with that, that's all I have to say about it. I'll pass it on.
Small shops here in Ghana. It's one of the I would say one of the barriers for them, because most of these shops they don't see the need in using these tools. If you ask them, they will tell you they've been doing things the old way and they haven't been having any issues. So why change? So when they don't have to pay to use it, at least give them something basic to use. At least it removes some of these barriers. And this could also be a strong entry point for these shops to at least start going digital. And it looked simple enough from the little demo, from the short demo, it looked simple enough for shop attendants to learn, which is also very important. I just wish we saw a bit more of how the app works. But even from the short demo, you can see there's some value in there. So with Dr. Foley's presentation, future of work, one thing that stood out was building our skills. So we all know technology is not slowing down. So tools in the cloud keep changing all the time. With Microsoft, for example, you can be on one of the apps in the morning and buttons or even the look can change in the afternoon. Actually, it's even happened to me yesterday. I was working in one of the apps I use often, and I noticed that some things had already changed. The interface was a bit different, and some of the features had been updated. I think it was, I think it was SharePoint. So if you are not paying attention, you can easily fall behind. So the future of work, I think it's all about how quickly you can learn and also adapt. And one other part of building our skill or growing is also helping others, which Dr. Foley talked about. A lot of us think learning is just about taking courses or maybe watching videos, but I believe one of the fastest ways to improve is by actually teaching. So when you try to explain something to someone else, you realize that you realize whether you truly understand it or not. So that's why communities like the Ananse community are important. They give people the chance to share knowledge, ask questions, and also grow together. For Viva Insight, it's really a great tool. I think it's it's very useful for companies that are trying to improve productivity, especially companies using tools like the Microsoft Teams and the Office 365 is a way to improve your for the management to improve their whole team's productivity, to know since it helps the management to at least know when they are overworking their employees. So it's really a great tool. I think, yeah, that's all for me. Okay, I think I always forget to start with the introduction. So Segu Isando, CTO for NTC Tech and co-CEO for CISA Tech. I think that's all for me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ananse. I'm a full stack developer and also a SharePoint and our platform developer in NTC Tech. I'm at Mamobi, Accra. I actually joined to increase my knowledge base, and I really liked all the presentations. I think if I to choose one I really enjoyed most, it will be the POS from Emmanuel. I really liked it. I think years ago I built something like that, but I was really happy to see him taking it to the next level. I really appreciate his presentation. Thank you.
So if you want to try some of the Microsoft technology, M365 technology like Insights that Harry was showing, and you don't have your own account, you can get a free-ish Microsoft Dev account, but the only catch there is no longer free. It used to be free. Now it's only free-ish if you have Microsoft's Visual Studio Professional or Enterprise version. And then you'll have access to be able to get your own M365 developer seat. Or you can also get a free trial of it and use that for up to 90 days. You can extend it 2 or 3 times, up to like 90 days. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed this month's meeting and networking and learning with us. As you can see on the screen, there's the QR codes for our community page where the discussion and QA is. Our company page, which is for events, which we're thinking about just going straight down to just having a company page, but that will follow later. If you'd like to give us feedback on this event, there is the post survey event that's also there. And we look forward to seeing you in April 23rd, which is the fourth Thursday of April, where we'll have Scale with Purpose, Tenant Management, Power Platform, AI, and Community, which I'll actually be a speaker next month, and we'll have 2 other speakers as well. The QR code is on the screen, and you'll also have the link available once we post the recap tomorrow. Thanks everyone so much, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great night.